Right, so we're just looking at the back of the inner step sill now, and we've actually cut the plate off that was on here. It was pretty rusted very badly at the bottom, so that's actually been removed. I removed a little bit further of the arch. I think we're going to have to cut maybe quite a bit higher, probably up as high as here, to actually replace this section. I think as we go further across it seems to be more and more solid, so we should be able to save some part of the sill. What we're going to do here now is just straighten this up and put a new piece back on to replicate how it should be. So just in case you wondered how I actually make up these small panels, first of all what I do is using some card we actually make up a sort of a panel that looks like it will pretty much fit. Then I actually take that away and change it to an AutoCAD drawing, a scaled AutoCAD drawing, and then make it in paper. And then when we've checked that that's actually going to fit exactly how we want it to fit, we then put the plug weld holes in that we're going to need, and then stick it onto some metal using some spray mount. Then it's cut out and punched, and then we weld it in. But I'll show you the metal with the print on it. Right, so this is the actual drawing. As you can see, it's slightly different from the cardboard replica. It's a little bit more accurate, and slight angles are put on it to ensure that it fits properly. But you can see the punch holes are on there, ready for cutting out and for punching. And once I've done that, I'll show you it fitted. So the first thing to do is take a rough cut of the outside. This is because the guillotine actually does distort the metal, but if you go quite close to the edge prior to actually cutting the final piece out, you can keep that distortion down to a minimum. So now we've cut it to a much smaller size, and now we're going to trim it up as accurately as possible. Right, now we have the finished sheet, and as you can see there is some slight distortion, but when we get the folds that we need to put in it, that'll all straighten. And using a hand punch tool we just punch the holes in. We have got a juggle tool which has got a 5mm punch for plug welds. However, 5mm I think is a little bit too small, so what we've done is we're using 7mm in this one. There's a couple of holes that I moved in and moved up because I thought they were quite close to the edge if we're going to do a 7mm plug weld. And the very top hole, actually there's a hole in the sill, a purpose made hole in the sill, so obviously we can't put that plug weld in. Might put a bit of seam weld around the top though. Right, now all it is to fold up the two edges. We need to make sure that we do the right edge first, otherwise you can find that maybe you won't get the metalwork back into the tool. What we're going to do, we're going to put quite a radius on this bend to give as much strength as possible to this particular end plate that we're putting on this sill. It's always the best to do it slightly under as a fold rather than over, so you can take it out and increase it, but what is very difficult to do is unfold it again. And this one is an overfold past the 90-degree mark, so we need to make sure we get that about right. And again we put a large radius on this as well for maximum strength. And there we have our bracket. As you can see, the radiuses are very not very sharp at all. We've kept them as rounded as possible for maximum strength. Oh, sorry. So we go and try and fit that into the car. And there what we have, I hope to be a reasonable fit on the to replace the end plate. We've There wasn't actually a lip on the top, we actually put that on as extra. It only actually came round from the side, but I think with that on there as well, it give it a little bit of extra strength. What we'll do now is we'll spot that on and then show you as the finished article. Obviously we've got to put a bit of spray underneath the spot welds before we weld it in place, but I think that's going to fit. So there's the bracket now put in place, which will give us something to weld any of the arch repairs to. So that's pretty much it's done.